In the world of media, there are stories that burn brightly for a moment and fade, and then there are the ones that alter the course of history, reshaping the way people see power, truth, and themselves. This story belongs to the second kind. It begins with a question that cuts deep into the heart of American democracy: what is the future of Fox News? Anthony Scaramucci knew this wasn't just a question about ratings or television programming. For him, it was about the soul of the country, about how narratives were shaped, and how trust, once broken, was nearly impossible to rebuild. He had lived through the storm. For a brief but unforgettable moment, he had been at the very center of political fire, standing close to the most powerful seat in the world, only to be burned by the flames of loyalty, betrayal, and media frenzy. Now, sitting across from Michael Wolff, the sharp-eyed, unflinching chronicler of political chaos, Scaramucci could feel the weight of the conversation before it even began. Wolff, infamous for his books that peeled back the curtain on power, carried an almost mischievous calm. He didn't shout. He didn't rush. But when he spoke, his words sliced through the fog like a scalpel. The two men leaned in, their conversation unfolding like a chess match between memory and prophecy. For Scaramucci, Fox News was personal. He had watched as it became not just a news network, but a cultural juggernaut, something that seeped into family dinners, friendships, and the way Americans saw each other. "It's not television," he said at one point, his voice thick with intensity. "It's identity." He remembered the people he grew up with, families who turned the TV on every night and found comfort, outrage, or reassurance on one channel. Fox wasn't just telling them what happened that day. It was telling them who they were. Michael Wolff nodded, then tilted his head in that way he did when he was about to drop something heavy. "The thing about Fox," he began, "is that it's not eternal. It was built for one era, one kind of America. And that America is cracking." His tone was matter-of-fact, but his words carried a quiet thunder. He spoke about aging audiences, about fractures inside the Murdoch empire, about the way younger generations consumed information in fragmented clips, scrolling past headlines without ever turning on cable. But this wasn't just a business story. Both men knew it was bigger, something about truth, something about what happens when power depends on keeping people in a constant state of fear and anger. Scaramucci leaned forward, his hands moving as he talked about the consequences. When you inflame people for profit, you can't control what happens next. You build a fire and then one day, it burns your own house down. His voice cracked with a mix of frustration and sadness, because he had seen what unchecked rhetoric could do: friendships ended, families divided, even violence in the streets. Wolff countered, "Not with 𝗕ance.